Hi.
You sounded so sad. Hi.
I'm not sad. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm excited for this episode. Welcome back, friend.
Thank you.
Our... Oh. I was saying welcome to our listener.
Oh. Hello, listener.
Hello, listener friend.
Welcome to episode 14.
14. Can you believe it keeps going higher?
Can you believe every 2 weeks it gets one number higher?
I can't believe it.
I can't either. Kind of crazy. I was thinking, like, imagine in the future when we've had a solid year down.
That's going to be cool.
It's going to be amazing. We'll have to have a listener special.
Yes. Definitely at 100 we're going to have a Wicked Mysterious party.
Yes.
For 100%. That's happening.
We should just have a party just for fun.
Because we're doing it.
In my yard.
That's fun. Summertime.
Yeah.
Not in this nasty cold
in the summer.
weather.
Yeah, fuck this weather.
It's so stupid. We haven't even gotten snow. It's like, why is it so cold?
Why would you want that?
I mean, I don't want it to be cold and not even snow. Like, it's just pointless.
I guess you're right, because the snow is kind of pretty.
Pretty, but then annoying.
Yeah.
I hate the snow.
I do too.
I don't even think it's pretty anymore. No. Like, maybe a very, very light dusting.
It's pretty sometimes when we had that big storm, but then I lost power.
Right.
And my street never gets power back right away.
I know.
Private road.
Yep. In the woods.
Privately owned telephone poles, not by me, so I have no control over my own electricity either. So.
That's not exciting.
It's not a good time.
Nope.
Anyway, we're very off topic.
We are. I don't know how.
Already.
We're going to get on topic.
Welcome to another episode of Wicked
Mysterious.
Yay.
Episode 14. Woo woo.
Yay. What do you got for us?
I got, because you don't know.
I don't.
I like you not knowing. I like it to be mysterious content.
For me, too.
And for you. Today, I'm going to talk about something much more lighter than our past few episodes.
No more quantum physics.
Yeah, we're not getting all into the big science here at all, okay? I'm going to talk today about a really cool, I don't even know if it's a phenomena, but I'm going to talk about, cue the music, stranger twins.
Stranger twins, like doppelgangers?
Yes!
Cool!
I'm so happy you're excited about this.
I am.
All right, so.
Remember that doppelganger I found on Facebook?
No.
Yeah, I sent it to you, and then you were like, she doesn't look like you. But I think she does.
Well, you should reach out to her.
I did. I said, I think you're my doppelganger. And she just said heart. So.
She must agree then.
No, I think it's just like in that one picture.
Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, because the other ones you sent me, I was just like, yeah.
Well, that's how I see myself.
No, you're prettier than that.
Oh, well, thank you. But...
You're welcome. Well, our perception of ourselves is, I really think, a lot different than other people's perception of what we look like, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
tell you that all the time. If you could see you the way I saw you. Oh, so sweet.
See, that's where loving music can come in. Like Full House.
Chirping.
Full House, I was thinking.
Yeah, very wholesome.
Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart.
Hand to hold on.
I thought you were coming in. I thought you were coming in strong, but weak.
No, you know what's better is, we're gonna have to cut fucking all of this out. But you know what's wicked good is the Punky Brewster theme song. Speaking of, do you remember that one?
I don't remember it, but I know it's a classic. It was a classic.
Every time I turn around. Did you ever watch Punky Brewster?
Yeah.
I see the girl who turns my world around. Standing there. Remember when Cherry got stuck in a fridge? That was a good episode.
No, I'd have to.
She like almost died because she got trapped in a fridge.
Jesus. That's fucking graphic for a kid's show.
Yeah, they opened it and she like toppled out.
Jesus.
Unless I'm making that up. Unless that's a Mandela effect.
It could be. All right. Are we cutting that or?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. So, stranger twins, also known as doppelgangers. Doppelganger is a German word that literally translates to double walker. Generally, the term is used to describe someone who looks physically like you but not related to you. A doppelganger is a non-biological related look-alike. Again, not genetically connected to your family, yet they have very oddly similar interests sometimes, which we're going to get into, jobs, even body language, like shit that blows my mind. Because when we think doppelganger, we think just somebody that looks like us. But as you're going to find out, there's some doppelgangers out there that are like literally another version of us and have the same jobs, interests, passions. Like, it's crazy. It's nuts.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Because we really think that like we're unique, you know? We think like, no, there's nobody else out there like us. Like, can you even imagine finding someone that looks like you? That alone, right? Like, shocking. How, like, to just like that's part of your identity.
Right.
And now suddenly it's like you're sharing it, right?
Yeah.
And then you find out that person is so much even more like you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's some this way that, you know, have been recorded or documented that just share way too much, way more than just physical. Okay.
I know I'm a baby and a wimp.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are.
You are.
But I was reading about doppelgangers recently, or
Yeah.
maybe I listened to Stuff You Should Know, the podcast,
Yep.
and they were talking about doppelgangers.
Yes.
And for some reason, it's one of the things that severely creeps me out.
Well,
and
it has a taboo on it.
Yes.
You know that?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So today the word means basically the twin stranger or a double, right? But traditionally, doppelgangers are referred to our alter egos or our ghostly counterparts. And seeing one could lead to misfortune and bad luck. So this was just kind of like folk history about it. Science journalist Zaria Gorvet for BBC wrote, "Folk wisdom has that everyone has a doppelganger somewhere out there. There's a perfect duplicate of you with your mother's eyes, your father's nose, and that annoying mole you've meant to have removed. We live on a planet of over 7 billion people, so surely someone else is bound to have been born with your face." It seems like a silly concept, but it has serious implications, and the answer is much more complicated than we think. All right, so we know we have doppelgangers in the world. This is already a phrase that we've been well aware of. But you're about to hear some crazy stories of a couple of similar looking people.
A couple.
Finding out way too many similar interests and traits to their own, in addition to looking almost identical. Sometimes long-lost twins are found and reconnected in this way, still sharing so many similar traits, even being raised across countries or in other countries from each other, which is like so cool.
It is so cool.
Because that explores like the whole nature versus nurture, and it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like how?
Yeah, I read the one about the guy who used to jingle the change in his pocket. Did you read about that?
No.
Just mannerisms that people have.
Mannerisms. That's a big one.
He would jingle his change in his pocket, and then he met his long lost twin, and he would do the exact same thing. They used like the same like weird brand of toothpaste, like an off brand. So
cool. Yeah. So cool. Did you know about the story of the triplets that were separated as a science experiment, which is so really fucked sad. Up. Yeah, it's a story. It's not here in my episode, but 3 triplets, they were all separated into different walks of life, adopted out. And one of them was raised in just financial hardship and struggled. And when they all grew up and found each other, they were over the moon happy. But the one that really had a really tough life, couldn't get over it and ended up committing suicide.
Because he was separated?
Because he saw like that he was separated from his brothers, and he just couldn't like heal that loss from his life, even though he loved the relationship he had with them. he saw the walks of life they all came from, and he felt like he just couldn't shake his past.
Yeah, that's so sad.
It's so sad. It really is. That's a really good story, though.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of these doppelgangers that really start to make me think a little deeper. Like shocking real life mysteries, basically, of, in this case, it's two examples of two men that I'm going to talk about that just share so many mind-blowing similarities. It's like, how and why is this even possible? Of course, that these two I'm talking about in this episode are not the only account of stranger twins. There's definitely I think there's a documentary on Netflix about a scientist that goes through testing for stranger twins, people that are provenly by his DNA testing not related, but share a lot of the same features. So there's plenty of them out there, but I mean, for some reason, these ones just blow my mind. And it makes me think that, again, some kind of crazy concept is involved here with either I don't know, another reality emerging of the other self, finding the other self. I don't know. Because then your DNA would be the same, right? Though, I don't know. Unless, I don't know. It's just fucking crazy. I'm already...
the celebrity ones, too. Are you going to talk about that?
I didn't talk about celebrity ones. Are you thinking of... Because the first one that just popped into my head was the little movie star and that died, the famous one. And she wasn't a movie star. She was a little actress or a little model.
John Bonet?
John Bonet. And that singer.
Katy Perry?
Katy Perry.
No. I was thinking, we could cover that, though. That would make a good episode.
They look so much alike, but the dates don't match up unless she's lying about her birthday and stuff, you know?
Yeah, but I was talking about the pictures, the historic pictures that look, of people that look just like current celebrities.
Yes. So, it really makes you think, maybe, or, did they live before? Right. Are they reincarnated and they look the same again? It's just nuts to think about. But yes, I definitely have seen that.
Vampires, real life vampires.
So
that's
cool.
my theory.
Real life vampires. I like it. So the first set I'm going to talk about is, this is mind blowing. Guys, get ready, okay?
Buckle in.
Brady Fiegels. And I say Brady Fiegels because there's two fucking Brady Fiegels. Yeah, unreal, right? Okay.
I got chills.
Yeah. Brady Matthew Fiegel, and we're going to call him Brady A, was born in Severn, Maryland on 12/27/1990. It's a Capricorn.
Boo.
And Brady Gregory Fiegel, B, was born in Missouri on 11/27, again, 1995. So 5 years apart and 1 month, but to the day of 5 years and 1 month to the day, 27.
Did you say both were December?
No, December and November.
Okay, sorry.
I meant November. He's a Sag.
Okay.
So,
boo.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Sagittarius
men are fine.
So how cool is
that? Birthdays, December 27th and November 27th. Same name, okay? Both Brady Fiegels were pitchers for minor league baseball teams, okay?
What?
Mm-hmm. The older Brady played at Mount St. Mary's originally and is now pitching for the Frisco Rough Riders, which is a AA affiliate for the Texas Rangers in Round Rock, Texas. He is a left-handed reliever. The younger Brady originally played for Mississippi. He's a right-handed starter, and he plays now for Ole Miss, which is a single-A affiliate for the Rebels of the Oakland Athletics.
Literally a twin. The left and the right.
Literally a twin.
That's so
it even
weird.
Gets crazier, bizarre than that, okay?
I don't mean twin, I meant mirror. But
mirror twin. Yeah. Well, we were talking about that just before.
Yeah.
So you might be thinking, of course, what are the odds, right, that these guys have the same name and they have the same, occupation, right? But how they came about knowing the other exists is mind-blowing, okay? So one of the Bradys, it's really hard to keep track. One of them, I'm assuming the older one, had a surgery performed called the Tommy John, which is a very, it's a very popular surgery for pitchers. Mm-hmm. He had a Tommy John surgery, which is an ulnar collateral ligament reconstruction. And that surgery is how he found out that his... Did you just look them up?
Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say look them up. Okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah, guys, you got to look up Brady Fiegel, Fiegl. And don't worry, if you just put Brady Fiegel, they'll both pop up. So Dr. Andrews performed this surgery on one of the Bradys, okay? And about 6 months later, a call is called in to like I don't know if it's like the director of the league or something, but the doctor called in to say, hey, when is Brady reporting for surgery? Is he getting down here tomorrow? And to when it was a trainer actually that was having the conversation and responded like, no, Brady already had his surgery 6 months ago. What are you talking about? And that's how this Brady says that he found out that there was two of them. So besides them both playing baseball, they both needed the same fucking exact surgery. I mean, I know it's common for pitchers, but yeah.
Then they, not only do they have the same name, same occupation, and then they are twins. They look exactly alike.
They have extremely similar facial features. Yeah. Also, they're redheads, and they both have red scruffy beards.
Yeah.
That are just so crazy.
They almost look like fraternal twins. Like
yes, there's a tiny bit difference.
There is a little bit difference, but
when they're looking side by side with red scruffy beards, they also, I'm going to get into the similarities, but they also even were wearing the same glasses, basically, like plastic framed glasses.
Yep. I just looked it up just to see if that's a thing pitchers wear, and it looks like...
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
But it's still bizarre to see them wearing the same exact glasses.
It is really weird. Okay. So, this was in 2015, okay? And so this is what he says. It was 2015, and the Rebel player Fiegel said, I was probably 6 or 7 months out of surgery when their office called our trainer asking about when I'm going to have the surgery, basically. And that's when he was just mind blown. He was like, no, wait, we got to look into this. Like, how is there another Brady? Well, turns out there definitely was. And when they met, they were just absolutely shocked at the resemblance. They both, on a separate interview, stated the exact same quote.
Oh my God.
Okay, this exact same quote. Out of my family, I didn't think there were any other Fiegels. Both of them said the exact same thing. That is so crazy. How? Okay? All right, so here's the similarities between the two Bradys that are just going to shock you. Okay, so first of all, big one, sharing the same name. Yes, different middle names, but still, first and last name.
It's not even a common
crazy.
Name.
It's really not. Both minor league pitchers. Both Bradys are 6 feet 4 inches. Both have fair complexions, red hair, and red scruffy facial hair. They have similar facial features, their noses and smiles, and they definitely could quickly appear as twins. They wear glasses and even prefer the similar plastic framed glasses. When they're out and about, they're both notorious for always wearing a fitted baseball cap. Mm-hmm. Both felt like they could be twins. Like they looked at each other and they felt it. So when they saw each other, they both instantly felt like they could be twins. Like they started to second guess, like maybe our parents lied to us. Like they really wanted to get to the bottom of it. They just felt a connection. It's so cool. And ironically, one of the Bradys had been adopted. So they started to wonder if they were living this lie, and the DNA test was definitely on their list. Like it was going to happen. But they even now, still to this day, and back then, they said they're brothers no matter what. They just feel it.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that crazy? The DNA did tell a different story. They weren't biologically brothers at all. Inside Edition interviewed the guys in 2018 and offered DNA testing for them, providing them both with testing for free. Brady B learned his family history in the past and had traced his name back to German heritage, but was especially excited to just learn more. And Brady A was excited just to learn where he came from in general more than anything. Mm-hmm. So first result revealed a shocking realization on their DNA tests, okay? Both Bradys had the exact same percentage of Germanic Europe heritage at 53%. Both of them, first thing they read when they pull their DNA tests out is that they see 53%.
Wow.
What are the odds of that? So they right away were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They thought it was just all going to match up. But it didn't. They were just shocked. They went on with the results. One of them had 10% Ireland, Scotland. The other one only 2%. One of them had 4% Italian. The other had 0% Italian. So here we have 2 complete strangers who happen to share the same name and occupation with so many similarities in their appearances, interests, a lot in common, a ton in common, and even the surgeries. Like, what are the odds of that? So yeah, there's a lot of doppelganger stories out there that are fascinating. Have you ever seen the one with the 2 redheaded bearded guys on the flight? It went viral on Facebook. I do remember it.
No, I'm getting chills. It's
nuts.
Like, hasn't stopped.
This dude gets on a flight and there's another dude sitting in the seat he bought. That is his twin. Identical. You have to Google right now, redheaded twins on flight. Or just, I think it was ginger twins. I don't know why everybody has to say ginger for redhead. I don't know, but ginger twins on flight. These guys are identical. And it gets even crazier because this isn't even part of my podcast, really.
Their hair is the exact
their
same
hair
style.
And look at their faces. Like, they're just, how is that possible? So they're on the flight together and they like talking the whole time, right? And becoming friends or whatever. And the freaking guys leave and they were taking a flight from Scotland to Ireland, first of all, okay?
Okay.
And just looking at them, you can tell they're going to Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are going to Ireland. So he's sitting there face to face with this guy, right? And they take selfies. It goes viral all over Facebook. But not only that, like, they leave and then they end up checking into the same fucking hotel. They already had the same hotel booked. Okay. So they go in to the hotel. They're like, oh, fancy meeting you here. They think it's funny. But later on, they go out and they freaking walk into the same bar together and have a beer. And they did not plan it. So this is nuts, right? These guys remained friends. They're still friends on Facebook. It's just outer worldly coincidences, right? Like, what?
Can you imagine how that must feel?
It must be insane. I cannot.
Did any of them die yet? Because it's bad luck, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about that?
Yeah, nobody's died yet of these that I'm talking about here.
Mm-hmm. What about bad luck or anything?
Yeah, no. Nothing that I've read about. Nothing at all. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't want anything bad to happen to any of these redheaded men. Because they all look so happy.
I know, right? I know. Isn't it weird that it's so far those 2 have been redheaded, right? The next ones I'm going to talk about, they have like snow white hair, but fair complexions. So I wonder if they used to be redheaded. So the next set of doppelgangers that is just going to be mind blowing here is 2 gentlemen named Neil and John. All right. So Neil and John both lived in Braintree, Essex, when they found each other, which is fucking mind-blowing. Did you look up their picture yet, Neil and John? Okay.
They're identical.
Yeah. Except one's shorter than the other one, and it's okay. He's cute. So this is a crazy story. So Neil retires, and he and his wife moved to Braintree, Essex just a few years ago, okay? John has been a Braintree, Essex resident his whole life. Okay. So for whatever reason, I don't know why, Neil decided to retire and move there. He enters this new neighborhood and he goes for a walk and everybody is waving to him. And he's like, this is the freaking friendliest place in the world. He was like, I feel so at home. I'm surrounded by strangers, but everybody is so unusually friendly. And his wife thought the same, like, wow, what a friendly town we moved to. They felt like they hit the lottery. Until one day he goes into a cafe, and the waitress says, hi, John, what can I get you? And he's like, John, my name's Neil. And she was like, get out of here. And like, she thought he was joking. And then the manager comes out from the back and he's like, good morning, John. And he's like, wait a minute, come here. My name is Neil. And the manager's like arguing with him, like, are you okay? And he's like, no, I'm really Neil. And he pulls out, he says he shows a credit card with his name on it to prove it. And the manager's like baffled. He tells him like, there's a man named John that's a regular here. You guys look identical. So an entire year goes by, okay? And Neil and John both decide on the same day that they're going to go on a day trip to a local history group tour. And as Neil is boarding the coach, he calls it, he sees John sitting there. And he's like, shut the fuck up. Like, this is the dude that everybody in town is calling me and saying hi to me all the time. So he goes up to him and he's like, excuse me, sir, I'm assuming you're John. And he says the last name, John Jameson. Or, yeah, it's like Jameson, right?
Probably, yeah.
Jameson. He's like, I'm assuming you're John Jameson. And then John says instantly he knew why this man was asking him, but it was still a little weirded out. Like, who are you? How do you look identical to me? Like, yeah. Weird, right? So once they talked and figured out, like, how much they were alike, they knew there was something else going on. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. They both learned that they went to the same teaching college. And both went on to teach the exact same subject, which is a rare subject, religious education.
Wow.
They both shared a deep love for poetry and writing. They had the same glasses right off the rip, like the same exact glasses. They used the same financial institution, both of them.
Wow.
It's crazy. They both proposed to their wives wicked quick within 1 to 2 weeks of knowing them.
Wow.
And they both remained with their wives still currently to this day for 50 years. They both have been with their wives for 50 years.
Wow.
So they lived literally around the block from each other. They shared so many same mannerisms. The way they walked, the way they talked, the way they folded their arms in a certain way with like the right arm over and under and like the same exact way.
Wow.
They both had sons that played the didgeridoo.
What is a didgeridoo?
It's a long wind instrument played with vibrating lips to produce continuous drone while using a special breathing technique called circular breathing. It's strongly associated with indigenous Australian music.
What the fuck?
But it is played around the world. Like, unreal that they have
instruments that nobody's heard of.
Nobody.
They both play it.
Exactly. Everybody I've said that word to, nobody knows what that is. I had to look it up myself. But their sons both played it. How? Okay? It's just nuts to me. So they went on to do testing. So, quite a lot of doppelgangers did, actually. 7 pairs, at least on this documentary I was watching, of identical twin strangers, they call them, even though we know they're not really identical twins. They look really, really similar from all over the world.
These two have to be twins.
They have distant DNA. So they both had Viking DNA.
Okay.
Which is so cool.
Is that rare? I wonder if that's rare.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I've never heard of anybody having Viking DNA.
Well, I just learned that if you do you know anybody that has crooked pinkies that are like pretty significantly crooked that like go in? Apparently that's actually a Viking trait, like a physical trait. So one of them, I want to say John, had the crooked pinkies and he was so proud of it. He was like, I have the Viking pinkies. Well, it turns out Neil actually had more Viking in him than John. And he was like butthurt about it. He was like making fun of him about it.
So so Viking DNA is not as rare as I thought. But still, that's cool.
Right.
Well, that explains.
It explains, know, that they both had it. But
they straight up look like identical twins.
They really do. So 7 pairs on this show, right, or this documentary, they go and they are from all over the world to undergo this part in this like unique scientific experiment and testing at the Department of Twin Research at King's College in London.
Department of Twin Research. How cool.
Isn't that so cool? To find just how similar that these twin strangers really were. So geneticist, professor, geneticist?
Just geneticist, you had it right.
Geneticist Professor Tim Spector led this experiment, a world-leading expert in twins. Doppelgangers became a deep interest and fascinated Professor Spector. And actually, that picture of the two men on the flight that went viral is what prompted him to start this experiment.
Really?
Yep. So, of course, they're using like top-of-the-line computer 3D, 2D technology. And they also even have humans rating them on their likenesses, which, again, perception, right? It's different because there's some of these people that will say, like, I look at them and I don't see me, but everybody else does,
right?
Which is crazy. I'm sure you've been in a position where you've seen a photo of yourself or something and been like, that doesn't look like me. But then other people are like, yeah, it does. And you're like, what the hell? I'm that ugly? Like, you know? So anyway, so they also use DNA testing too, because they wanted to, at the end of the experiment, they wanted to see just how much DNA somebody could share that came from different parts of the world and that they knew not being biologically related. They wanted to know if there was any DNA there at all. So, some twin strangers with super similar facial features are likely to share more DNA than they would with just a complete stranger. Geneticist Arthur Badu, a professor in the molecular and human genetics department at Baylor College of Medicine, says it's really possible that twin strangers may actually be distant relatives. So they go through this study, right? And they were going through key points of facial points, you know, of recognition.
Yeah.
And John and Neil scored 95% likeness, which is what twins would actually score.
Wow.
Which is insane.
Wow.
I wish that
they really do look so much like twins.
They really do. They're wicked cute. So yeah, they scored really, really high. There was other ones on that documentary that scored high as well, like in the 90s. There's been other studies too. In 2015, a study that analyzed the probability of two different unrelated individuals matching up to 8 key facial features was done by researchers Tegan Lucas and Macy, I can't say that name, Macy Hannenberg in Australia. They found that there's only a 1 in 135 chance to have a pair of doppelgangers in the world, with all 8 exact matching facial feature detection points exactly being only 1 in 1 trillion.
Wow.
So John and Neil were 95%. They weren't 100%, right? But to have exactly like no differences, 1 in 1 trillion, okay? But ignoring the mathematics of facial details, probability of having a lookalike doppelganger is much higher. Again, at the 1 in 135.
That seems so low.
I know, but there's only a 1 in a billion chance of meeting your doppelganger in this world. That's what they say. This is what I don't know how they can find this out. But although technology and websites like ilooklikeyou.com are helping the odds. So there's a few websites out there, I've already done it, where you can submit a photo of yourself and your lookalikes around the world that have also signed up. So maybe some people out there, they need to sign up, you know, and you might find your doppelganger. ilooklikeyou.com is the one I went on, but there is other ones. You just have to look up doppelganger search and you're going to find different websites. Wow. It's really neat. That's what's connecting people now. We didn't have that back, 10 years ago. This study was done in 2015. So back then the chances of meeting them were 1 in a billion, but probably not that much anymore,
Do you know if this doppelganger study went into like mannerisms or preferences and things like that?
They didn't study mannerisms, but it was just, there was a lot of them that did share so many mannerisms,
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of them that were totally different.
Yeah.
Like one would be super social, the other was wicked shy and quiet. And like, there's some girls that were just like, holy shit, that is the same girl. Like beautiful girls that I'm like, holy shit, like there is 2 of you in this world. And it's just mind blowing to think. Mm-hmm. One girl actually found 3 doppelgangers off of a website that she has. 3. Her name was like Nami. It's like weird. NLAMH. Like it's I can't pronounce that word. But she found 3 doppelgangers of herself, and they were very, very good. One of them was from Italy. Her name was Louisa. And then the other 2 were from her hometown in Dublin, named Karen and Irene. So it's that weird name if you're looking it up. And Louisa, Karen, and Irene. But 2 of them were from her own hometown. That's nuts. Did you hear that?
They literally... Sorry, I was in shock.
No, I know. It's okay. The girls you're looking at?
Yeah.
Wow. Don't they look so good? For the 2 of them to be in their hometown is mind-blowing to me. Like the same thing with Neil and the same thing with John. Like they were a block away from each other. How are you drawn to the same area in life when you know nothing about this human?
1 in a billion chance.
Right. It's crazy. So there's evidence, or not evidence, but there's speculation that there was like 2 to 3 exact replicas of us on this planet, you know, and an explanation for that, you know, because we only have so much like genetic makeup to go around, right? So like
there's only
eventually,
so many
right, there's only so many combinations for genes. Eventually we're gonna cross paths, or they're gonna duplicate eventually. Yeah, it's just nuts, dude. Assistant Professor of Neurobiology and Behavior Michael Sheehan explains there's only so much genetic diversity to go around. If you shuffle the deck of cards so many times, at some point you're gonna get the same hand dealt with you. Mm-hmm. There's only so much variation out there. Some people will have to look similar.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. This is why it's on an episode of Wicked Mysterious. Why and how does it explain the similarities in the jobs and the life plans and the behaviors and the mannerisms and the interests, hobbies? Like, how?
And going to the same hotel.
The same hotel for those guys on the plane. Same flight, going to the same bar. Out of all the bars in Ireland, right? They went to Ireland?
Yeah.
Out of all the bars, they went to the same one. I know there was plenty of bars on that strip.
Yeah.
There had to be.
That's so crazy. But they went at the same time, too.
They went at the same time. Same flight. Like, I know. It's just crazy, right? So this was just a little fun episode. We kept it light. Yeah. But it's fascinating. And it is mysterious because to me, it is. Like, it's more than a doppelganger when it gets that detailed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild shit.
Right.
I loved this. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you were moved to chills a few times.
Definitely.
I love it. Well, thanks for listening out there, and we love you, and we can't wait to see you again. Until next time, stay mysterious.